Hello, I'm Erica Reed. I'm the marketing manager for the Center for Musical Arts. I usually get to interview our faculty members for the center, and today I am really excited to be interviewing a new faculty member for the center. That's my first time doing one of these interviews. As of the time that we're recording, which is June of 2021, Abby Jones is new to the studio. So how are you doing?
I'm doing well. Thank you so much for asking.
So I know, you're new to the Center for Musical Arts, but you're not new to teaching and you're not new to music. Can you tell me a little bit about the journey that brought you here?
Yeah, so I have been playing piano for almost 20 years at this point, and I actually went to CU Boulder to get my undergraduate degree in piano performance, and then I have been teaching ever since I graduated about 4 years ago. And then I decided that I wanted to pursue a little bit more of a community-based outreach with the Center for Musical Arts so that I could teach with other teachers and then also teach some higher needs kids with just the what really drew me was just the fact that you guys offer a lot of the needs-based scholarships. So that was really what drew me to the music school here.
That's interesting that you mentioned that. In quite a few of the interviews that I've done, different faculty members have mentioned their own need for tuition assistance and things like that in their past and how much that has meant to them. That the center offers that through our Heartstrings program. So it's really interesting that as you touch on that for a reason to wanting to come to the center. Can you tell me a bit more about your teaching philosophy?
Yeah, so my teaching philosophy is that every single student should be able to participate in music education. So that should look like something different for every single student. Obviously, every student has different needs and every single teacher teaches differently. So we all need to meet every student where they are at, which is why it is really nice. I mean, you said that a lot of teachers do have or have had the tuition needs in their past, and I definitely did when I was growing up. So that shouldn't be the deciding factor for whether or not students get to have lessons. And I think that, students or music is a very important part of everyone's education. And so that's something that I really value. So it's not just, oh, I actually studied for classical music, I didn't do jazz or anything like that. But even though that's where my training is in, I really value what every student wants to do. So if a student wants to do jazz or if a student wants to do pop music, I really try to still teach them the core fundamentals of music, even though they're not necessarily just learning from the repertoire that I learned from when I was growing up. So that's really my philosophy. And then we just go based off of what the student needs and hope that they learn everything that they need to learn to be successful.
I don't know if you know this yet, Abby, but the center this year celebrates the 25th anniversary of its opening. And it was founded as a school whose main tenet was music for all for life. I mean, that um, it really started from this place of just what you're describing, this desire, I think, to meet each student where they are and to bring music into their life, no matter what level, no matter what background, no matter what age, no matter what financial circumstance. So it sounds like, you found a good fit here between you and the center and your sort of mission. Can I ask you what drew you to the piano? What makes that your instrument?
I don't really know. That question has been asked to me a lot, actually. And I think that it's just because I really just enjoy the sound that it makes. And I think because of the amount of repertoire that there is for the piano, most people have a piano in their home. And so, well, not most people, but there's a piano or a keyboard, and so you can go and
More
play.
more likely a piano than a bassoon.
Right, exactly. Exactly. You're going to have more opportunities to play. And so my mom was really, she really wanted us to play an instrument, and that's probably the lowest barrier for entry. You don't have to worry about tuning and things like that, but I just really love how it sounds, and I love how it can play with every other instrument. You can play collaboratively, but you can also play solo. So I just really enjoy the tone, and you don't have to have this beautiful instrument in order to make beautiful music with it.
Yeah, I hope you don't mind my asking the question. I ask it in every one of these interviews because I find it a bit of like a personality test almost. Like, why do people get drawn to different instruments? I find it so interesting. I am not myself a musician, and I often wonder what would be my instrument, and I'm not quite sure because it feels like there's so many different personal reasons that people are drawn to it. And it might just be like you're saying, the sound speaks to me. It's something that resonates in me, but it's just something I'm always curious about, because especially for people who make their lives out of learning, performing, teaching this instrument, something really has to call to you about it for you to make that pursuit, I think.
Yeah, and I'm wondering if it's just because I'm really introverted, and so there was always that, you can just play piano for hours. You don't have to worry about your breath, and you don't have to worry about, get the physical toll as much that it takes on your body. And so you can just, be kind of quieter and, not worry about anything taking that, that, like I said, like the breath and things like that it takes on your body. And so it's, it's more like it can be a background instrument, but it can also be like a showy instrument. So I wonder if that could be it. Because actually when I met you, I was like, oh, maybe she would play the flute. I don't know why I thought that.
You thought so, huh?
Yeah, I don't know if anyone's ever told you that. That's funny.
No, I've never heard flute before.
That's
No.
funny.
That's really funny. Yeah, well, that gets closer to what I'm talking about. This idea that, I'm an introvert, and it's an instrument that can be played quietly and on my own, as well as the versatility of collaborating or performing in, a recital. It can also be played on my own, when I want, how I want. I think that, I don't know, I think there's something there. I'm sure there are studies about this. It's just always something that interests me. And I've worked with orchestras before, and when you meet a musician, like, the first thing you want to talk about is what instrument they play. And then in the room, there's always sort of a sense of, oh yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Right.
You seem like a brass player.
Like that. Yeah, exactly.
So,
exactly. Oh, you seem like a violist.
Flute.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, like a what?
Like a violist. Oh, you seem
Yeah.
like that. Or, yeah.
Right, exactly. Yeah. And so what is it that makes us, for one thing, what makes us seem like that would be our instrument, and why do we play what we're drawn to? I do think, not to make this interview about me, but I have thought about the instrument question, and the piece that I'm most drawn to, I think, is like actually composition. I am in my life a writer, and I think that the pieces of like, building the music that someone else performs is the piece that really draws me the most. But you'd have a hard time being a composer without knowing how to play an instrument.
Yeah. Well, and as a performer, when you are playing a piece of music that the composer doesn't play that instrument, it's pretty clear. Like, we're like, oh, this person isn't really a pianist, so they don't really write pianistically. It's very interesting to feel it. Oh, this person is a pianist composer. They're very pianistic with how they write it. It feels really nice in your hands. So it's just really interesting, like, to that conversation to have. So yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, I won't derail us entirely. I just
Yeah,
find these
sorry.
things very interesting. And
Me too.
you certainly seem like a pianist to me.
That's
So
good.
when you are not teaching or performing piano, when you're not in that music world, what else are you doing in your life, Abby?
Well, I really enjoy other, I guess, I don't know if they're like similar types of things, but I enjoy cooking and baking actually a lot. And I enjoy crocheting. And so I might start sounding like I'm 75, but which is okay with me. And I have a lot of house plants actually. So I didn't, yeah, if you looked around my apartment, you would just see plants everywhere, which is, my husband says that I need to, rein it in a little bit, keep it down for a little bit. But yeah, so I think I just like really enjoy trying new things. And because like with cooking, baking, crocheting, there's always something that you can do to make it better. And I think that that's true with music as well. There's always something that I can do to get better at it and to try something new. There's always a new technique. So I don't know.
Yeah, I think what you're describing a lot of craft, a lot of things that you're drawn to seem to be around craft. And I think this idea of exploration and improving your own skills at things, I think that they do all sort of fit in a similar territory, don't they?
Yeah, I think so.
And the plants, they're just fun.
Yeah, they're just fun, but they can also be a little bit of a craft thing too, because they're easy to kill, I would say.
Yes, I've learned that for sure. So Abby, is there anything else that I haven't covered today that you think would be good for prospective students or prospective, someone interested in piano to understand about the way you teach or about your background or anything like that?
I just think that if you want to take piano lessons, and if you want your child to take piano lessons, that it is important to find a teacher or a studio that you and your child fit into, and that you want, or that you connect with. So if you have a lot of, oh, I want my student to learn X, Y, and Z, like it is probably, you will probably learn those things. So, but you're learning a lot of things about life as well. I talk about a lot of serious things in the lessons as well. It's not just about piano, because kids and adults actually ask about serious things. This past year has been interesting, to say the least, and things come up in the lesson that kids ask about. And so I think it's important to consider the personal connections that you have with the teacher. And piano is supposed to be about that. It's not supposed to be about, oh, I'm scared to go to my lesson, or I'm worried about this and that. It's supposed to be about making an interpersonal connection with yourself and with somebody else. And so I think, I try to make my lessons fun and engaging and all of these things. So if you're interested in learning about music, it's about not just music. It's about, what happened this week that was hard and in the news, and how is that going to play out in music, and how do we engage the world through music. I think that that's one thing that's really important to consider when you're looking for a teacher. So
Abby, I love this idea that your music lessons aren't supposed to be something you dread.
Yeah.
Something you don't really want to do. I mean, yeah, they should be hard and challenging and you should be learning, but I really like this idea that there should be something more there. There should be something you look forward to and that you should be greeted as a whole person, not just a pair of hands.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I think that's definitely what I was trying to say, for sure. So
Yeah. Yeah, I got that for sure. Well, thank you so much for talking to me today. Welcome to the center. We're so glad to have
thank
you, and
you.
I hope to talk with you again sometime soon.
Sounds great.
Bye.